Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Mindset with Mary podcast. I'm your host, Mary. In today's episode, we're going to talk about how society has really created this crazy amount of mixed emotions around weight loss. So, if weight loss is a triggering topic for you, this is your permission slip to go ahead and tune out of this episode. But my guess is that if you tuned in, you're probably curious and want to know more. Also, I just want to make the suggestion that if you are triggered, this could actually potentially explain to you why it does trigger you. So just a quick little disclaimer there. If you're feeling triggered, make sure you tune out. If you're curious though, please stay tuned because this is really going to go in depth and really help you understand maybe why you might be struggling. So first thing I want to talk about is it seems like my mom's generation and even like my grandma and I don't know about further beyond that because I never did get to meet my great grandma. I just feel like that generation mixed their worth so much into the fact that they had to be this perfect shape. They had to be this perfect size. And their worth really revolved around what the number on the scale said and what they looked like in a dress and how they looked for society. And that was not healthy at all. However, I feel like my generation and even, the generation beyond that came in and tried to fix that. And we were so freaking scared of mixing our worth with our weight that we overcorrected trying to fix that. And now we're so like in the mix of feeling guilty for wanting to lose weight and thinking that it's a bad thing, that if we even try to lose weight, we're like not a good person, right? And I just want to take a second here. Like, if you're like, oh my gosh, wow, mind blow. You're not the only one. This was a huge mind blow for me because I really got sucked in to the self-love and really just like body positivity movement for a long time and just ate whatever I wanted. I was like, screw this. Like, I'm going to eat whatever I want and do whatever I want. And then I still didn't feel good. So I went from trying so hard my whole life to reaching this one single goal on the scale to finally reaching it and realizing that I wasn't happy and I didn't love myself even though I stood on that scale, to moving into the self-love body positivity movement and doing whatever the hell I wanted and eating whatever the hell I wanted and just like letting loose and doing whatever and thinking that me wanting to lose weight was a bad thing. And all that did was create weight gain, not satisfaction at all, and really just being out of alignment because I didn't feel good. I was eating way too many things that were not working for my body or helping me keep my mind clear at all. And so this stigma around the idea that self-love means that you should not want to lose weight is just really not good advice. And I know that to be true. I know that to be true because of this experience that I've had, because I've lost weight and now I've maintained it with the healthy relationship around food. And I feel better than I have ever had before. And I have more energy and mental clarity than I ever have before. And what this has done for me is really help me have more energy to do more of what I love and have energy for my family. I used to get home from work and literally just plop my ass on the couch. The dog would be barking at me and wanting my full attention. Husband asking me, hey, what's for dinner? What's for dinner? What's your plan? What are you going to make for dinner? And all I could think about was, oh my God, I got to get my kid to this lesson and this lesson. And I would just be so overwhelmed in all of it. I had, we got to hurry and do this then, and then we got to hurry and do this. And I didn't I had no motivation. I would just lay on the couch and be like, baby, I just can't do this today. I can't. And I felt so defeated. And the worst part is it was Monday and I had 4 more fucking days of it. 4 more days. And I just felt so exhausted. And when I finally lost some weight and took care of my health, took care of my hormones, took care of myself, I started to gain some mental clarity, which allowed me to work on my mindset, which allowed me to work on my emotional health, which allowed me to work on my mental health, which increased my physical health. And now I get home, pet my dog, cuddle him for a few minutes, help my son with homework, have a meal already planned and lined out, ready to go, so that if me or my husband needs to quickly get it ready, we do. And then I squeeze in a quick coaching call for about an hour, get my kiddos to whatever lessons they need to do. Husband goes and helps work on mom's house. We're doing all of the things, and I don't even notice how hard it is. I thought about this the other day. He got home and it was like 7:30 and I was like, I used to be so upset with you. You'd get home at 7:30 and I'd be like, you're never here to help me. Meow. And now I'm like, I got all the energy to do all of this. So thanks for getting home at 7:30 to help me with dinner. Love you. And of course, it's not just all from weight loss. But that weight loss did help me build the momentum. And it helped me build the confidence that I needed to see that I was capable of reaching hard goals and actually freaking maintaining them. Because trust me, I've lost weight so many times and then just sabotaged myself, like literally in the next week. Like to the point where I was like, oh my gosh, yay, celebrate myself. I lost the weight. It's taken me like 3 months. Yay me. That night, literally binge eating like no other, because of course that felt so much more safe than to actually consider the fact that now I'm going to have to start eating like this for the rest of my life. So I don't want you to get stuck in that trap. I do not want you to get stuck in that trap. That's not a fun place to be. I want you to do this with ease. And what I mean by ease is like you eating your favorite foods when you want, on your terms, knowing what works for you, knowing what doesn't work for you, and reaching your goals no matter what. And having the confidence and also feeling the self-control to do what you want and make it work for you, and not feel like you have to stay structured 24/7 and literally just living your life and enjoying your life. Okay? Self-love actually means caring for yourself so much that you make decisions that support yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically. And it's, you know what, weight loss is just not that bad. It's really not. Because when you're working on weight loss with the intention to build your relationship with food, oh my gosh, how empowering does it feel? How empowering does it feel to be like, you know what? I really don't want to eat ice cream tonight. Just don't feel like it. When Hub's like, hey, I'm making popcorn, do you want some? And you're like, you know what? I just am not feeling it tonight, but thank you. And he makes it, and you're like, and you have a bite, and you're like, yeah, no, I don't really want that, but thank you. And you sit on the couch and watch the movie without having to eat something. Oh, man, that feels so good. It feels good because it's like, holy shit. I'm not just like eating whatever's in front of me. I'm tuning into what I need. And my body is like, you know what? I'm not feeling this right now. And I tuned into that and I freaking followed through. And I didn't feel guilty, and I didn't feel the need or feel like like just this like panting of a dog just waiting for the food to fall into my mouth. You know what I mean? So I want you to remember that you get to have both self-love and weight loss. And you also do not have to tie your weight to the scale anymore. And I want you to see that your desire to lose weight is actually meaningful, because if you're resisting it and it feels like an uphill battle, you get to understand that actually it is easy. It gets to be easy. But what that means for you is that you have to start tuning in. You have to start tuning into your intuition and your gut and listening and trusting the path. And I know that sounds so freaking intangible, but I've got you, and I'm going to show you exactly how. First thing first, though, you need to understand the reasons why you might be scared to lose weight. You need to understand why the reasons why you should actually want to lose weight. And lastly, but not least, you need to understand that there is potentially and 100% more than likely a spiritual lesson that your soul is calling to you through this weight loss journey. And so if you just give up now, you might be missing out on a lesson that your soul is saying like, hey, yo, this is a lesson you need. And so it's just going to keep coming back up. And the desire is going to keep being there. And when the desire is there and you're not taking action on it, you're probably going to feel freaking anxious. So let's tune in, let's listen to our soul, and let's freaking work on what we actually want to work on. Stop worrying about the worth within the scale, and stop worrying about feeling like we need to be humble and that we don't deserve to lose weight because that would mean that we're not in love with ourselves. Bullshit. No, you get to have both. You get to have self-love and you get to be the weight that you want to be. Okay? All right, let's dig in. But before I do that, I just want to remind you that the month of April, if you leave a rating and review on the podcast, you will be entered into a drawing. And there's 2 drawing prizes for the month. One is a $50 gift card to Amazon. And the next one is a free month of coaching with moi. And of course, the first month of coaching is literally my favorite because we really dive into confidence, self-worth, and just understanding how your brain works so that you can start to rewire that and and actually show up for your goals and be like, holy cow, I didn't sit and worry about how I was going to reach this goal the whole time. I just freaking did it. And it happened. Hey. All right. So the first thing I want to talk about, let's dig into the first thing, why you might be afraid to lose weight. These are probably reasons why you might be afraid to lose weight. You might have a fear of losing your protection. The weight is your protection. I think of this like wearing baggy clothes. I love to wear baggy clothes because it protects me. It hides my body. No creeps looking at my body, right? Fear of losing protection. Another one might be the fear of being seen, which kind of links back to that fear of losing protection. Guys, I have had big boobs, big hips my whole life. I have freaking the hourglass figure, especially when I work out, especially when I lose weight, because I lose weight and I hourglass figure. And I have for most of my life been so afraid to be seen by creeps. Like, oh my gosh, somebody's going to see my body. I don't want somebody to see my body. And then sneak up on me, steal me away. And that's actually not funny. I don't know why I'm laughing, but my brain does that when it goes into fear mode. It's like, let's just laugh about this because it's easier to laugh about it than actually feel the feelings. Okay, but back to reality here. Maybe you're afraid of being seen. Maybe you're afraid of getting attention. Maybe you have a fear of failure. Maybe you have a fear of success. Maybe you have a fear of maintaining it because if you have to maintain it, it's just too hard. Maybe you have a fear of responsibility because if you finally lose this weight, then you are responsible for keeping it off. Maybe you have a fear of losing your identity because who you are currently is what you eat. You're the girl who loves chocolate. That's me. I so love chocolate, right? Like I so have an identity around the fact that I'm the dark chocolate glass of wine girl. Hey, I love that identity. But maybe it's not serving me anymore, right? And I have this fear of saying no to my favorite foods. I don't want to say no to wine. Ooh, so I have this fear of saying no to foods. Maybe that is why you might be afraid to lose weight. Maybe you have a fear of cultural conditioning and familiar beliefs and not fitting in with your family anymore. So many reasons why we might be afraid to lose weight. So many reasons why we might be afraid to lose weight. One of the reasons why I know, and this was a subconscious thing that I learned, and I didn't even realize it, is that women should have curves and that women should not be too thin. So when I started to lose weight in my mid 20s, it was a little before that. Maybe it was before that. I started to lose weight. I remember my grandparents saying, you don't look very good. You're too skinny. And the sad thing is that I was feeling really good and feeling really energetic. But I took that on and I let that control me because I was like, oh yeah, too skinny. That's good. I'm not valued. People aren't going to love me if I'm too skinny. So I've got to gain some more weight. Gained it right back. Wasn't too short. Literally probably took me a week. Boom. Right back to where I was. Because I was afraid that I wouldn't be loved by my family if I was too skinny. I was afraid of being seen. I was afraid of the attention. So every time I'd go to reach my goals, I'd sabotage myself because it was easier and felt more safe simply because I was afraid of certain things. So I had to rewire those thoughts. So I just want you to use some of those examples. Ask yourself, do any of these fit the mold? And if they do, journal around it, think about it, ask yourself, where did this fear come from? And I don't want you to point blame or anything like that. My grandparents are great and amazing people. They grew up in an era where the external value was much more valuable than internal value. So I forgive them. That's fine. I learned from it. So next, moving into reasons why we should actually want to lose weight. Less weight on your knees and hips for longevity. Number 2, less weight that you have to carry means more energy and an ability to stay active within your relationships with your family, your kids, your pets, and all of your hobbies, to go, and do all the things you want and not get burnt out because you have the energy physically. Maybe the reason why you should want to lose weight is simply just to teach yourself healthy habits that are gonna freaking last a lifetime. Drinking water, moving your body, eating more nutrient-dense foods. Things that are gonna keep you healthy longer. Having the ability to move through life life lighter and more free. Less weight to carry means more mental clarity. I learned that as I lost weight, it was almost as if my mind started working better. I'm just saying. I noticed it. Maybe it also had to do with the fact that I was working on my spirituality. I was working on alignment and all of the things. However, there was a correlation. So just think about it. Learning that to want more for yourself, and seriously just be proud of yourself in the process and not feel guilty for wanting more. Maybe that's what you need to learn. And that's why wanting to lose weight is not a bad thing. Maybe showing yourself that you're capable of hard things. Maybe reducing the risk of disease and chronic health problems and cancer and all the other shit. Improving your heart health, joint health, hormone balance. Hello, right here. Hormone balance for me. That was huge. Who knew that losing a little weight would help me balance my hormones? Of course, I also had to start working on that process before losing weight, but now I don't need to worry about going to the doctor all the time for hormone balance because now I know it works for me. Okay? Maybe you shouldn't feel bad because it helps you with your quality of sleep. It reduces your anxiety and depression, helps you focus and keep your attention, and improves your overall quality of life. So why are we feeling guilty? Why in the hell are we resisting weight loss simply because this generation, my generation of women, are all over body positivity? And I'm so proud of them for that. But I truly believe we've overcorrected here. And I know that from my own experience. And that might not be true for everybody, but it is true for me because when I lost weight, I felt better. And when I felt better, I took action on my goals and dreams. And when I took action on my goals and dreams, I started to see results outside of just weight loss. I started to see my business grow. I started to see my career grow. I started to see my relationship with my son and my husband and my daughters grow because I was holding on to less weight. I was able to run around with my son more often. I was able to jump on the trampoline. I was able to get home and have more freaking energy. Okay? So, don't feel bad. There are so many reasons, and maybe one of these aligns with your reason why. Let's move into spiritual lessons because I truly believe that I learned a spiritual lesson behind losing weight. So these are some of the reasons that might be your lessons for you. Maybe it's a sign that your soul is calling you to. Maybe there's a lesson in the task for you to lose weight before you can move on to the bigger task. And you must understand this, whatever this lesson may be, so that when you move on to the next task, you know how to handle it. Whew. And that was so true for me because it was like I could not build my business for the freaking life of me until I lost the weight and recognized that I didn't have to follow everyone's rules. That I got to be the fucking rebel in the process. That I could lose weight and still freaking eat cake whenever the fuck I wanted to. Excuse my language, but ooh, that feels so good. That I did not have to have macros. I didn't have to follow a macro plan. That I didn't have to work out on a regimen. Like I didn't have to be like, okay, I'm going to work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I'm going to do arms on this day, legs on this day, and and I'm going to follow this workout plan. And oh my God, kill me now. That sounds so horrible. No, I didn't have to do any of that. I got to create my own plan. I got to decide what worked for me. And man, that felt so freaking empowering. And once I learned that, I got to take that into my relationship with my husband. I got to take that into my relationship with my mother, who I struggled with so freaking bad. I got to take that into my business and my career and everything else. That simply, I do not have to follow the rules of society, that I get to create my own rules. And when I do that and I tune into my heart and my soul, that I will absolutely become 100% magnetic to everything I want. But I had to lose weight first to understand that. Other spiritual lessons that may align for you: releasing those generational patterns. Simply just, maybe your parents, maybe your mom, maybe your aunts had a bad relationship around food, and you need to release those patterns so that your daughters or your kids or your nieces and nephews don't see that. Don't see that that's a normal habit. You don't want to teach that to them. Your soul could simply be asking you to build that healthy relationship with weight loss so that other people around you can benefit from your wisdom and see that there's another pattern, there's another way. Maybe the spiritual lesson is simply releasing past identities and an attachment to who you are currently that you need to let go of. When I let go of the fact that I was the girl who drank wine, damn, my life freaking got good. Trust me, I like to drink wine, but I no longer attach my identity with it. No longer. That is not me anymore. And I am so grateful for releasing that identity. And yes, it took a lot of work to release it, because that meant that I was no longer a part of the wine club crew, right? I was no longer involved in the funny jokes about wine and the girl who carried wine in her purse and all of that. I was no longer that person. But I was no longer waking up with headaches. I was no longer putting alcohol in front of my goals and dreams. And damn, that felt good. Other spiritual lessons: shedding energetic weight, releasing and letting go of past traumas. Maybe through your process, you learn that you're struggling to lose weight because you're holding on to your past. And when you finally learn to let go of your past, you get to let go of the weight energetically, which in turn allows your nervous system to let go. Let go of the protection that it's trying to protect you from. Let go of the protection of trying to, going back to why you might be afraid. Fear of losing that protection, fear of being seen, fear of the attention, fear of failure or success, fear of maintaining that it would be too hard, fear of the responsibility, fear of losing your identity, right? Maybe you're so afraid of something that you're holding on to extra weight to protect yourself. And when you let that go, the weight just comes off. And maybe you have to learn that through your weight loss journey, because you start to understand that your internal world literally creates your external world. And once you understand that, you start to shift your internal world, and then your external world shifts. Bada bing, bada boom. Maybe it's an imbalance of just your body, your mind, your emotions, and all the things. And this goal is meant to help you stay aligned. Maybe your soul is calling you to take care of its vessel because you're meant to live longer, because it needs you to serve some sort of purpose, because your soul is like, I need to do all of these things, and you're not taking care of your body. And if you don't take care of your body, eek, right? I think of this in terms of my father-in-law. He did not take care of himself. I remember arguing with him time and time again. Listen, you've got to start taking care of yourself. And he'd be like, who needs to eat healthy food? Broccoli sucks. Or whatever he would say. He was so funny about that. And I love him and miss him for that. I miss those times. But he's gone. He's dead. Wow, that sounds so insensitive when I say it like that. I guess I just have a weird sense of humor when it comes to death. I don't know. Whatever. I really hope my mother-in-law and sister-in-law are not listening. Oh. But I guess that my sense of humor really ties back to the fact that I just know he's still there. So anyways, I felt guilty for that for a second, but I'm going to let that go because I know he's still here with me. And he just laughed his ass off after I said that. Anyways, long story short, my father-in-law was such an important person in my husband's life. He was such an important person in my daughter's lives, in my life. He taught me so much, and there's so much more that I know that I could have learned from him. But unfortunately, he didn't take care of his body. And now the purpose and wisdom and all of the things that he could have brought into our lives, I have to learn that through spiritual lessons now. Man, I miss him. Other lessons that are possible. Maybe your soul's just calling you to tune into your self-worth more than it ever has before. To help you learn through the process of weight loss that you get to unassociate self-worth with your weight. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all. Maybe your soul is calling you to trust yourself and learn to tune in. Maybe it's calling you to learn to be more consistent and build the power of momentum. Maybe your soul is wanting to show you your ability to break beyond the confines of this 3D world, that you are capable of so much more, that you can create outside of the limits of your mind and what the world says is possible. And maybe your soul simply just wants to experience the weight loss journey that humans experience. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all. Either way, it's all meaningful. It's all soul-based. Your spirit, your soul, your intuition, it's guiding you through this process. And if weight loss keeps coming up and you're struggling with it, stop tuning out because you feel this need to be humble and love yourself. If you love yourself, you'll take care of your body. If you love yourself, you'll tune into what your soul is asking you to follow through. If this keeps coming up, there is a lesson in the process. Don't tune out. Stay tuned in and listen. Because I promise you, just like myself, I get to share those lessons with people. Now, because I've learned through the process of weight loss, I get to share with you that you don't have to follow rules to create results. You absolutely do not have to follow other people's rules to create results. The results that you are craving come from within who you are and who you be. And when you step into that and when you trust yourself, you get to be the person who shows up confidently, reaching goals and saying, yeah. And one of the things that I truly help my clients do is start to see their value from within, but also start to see that their value, but also start to help them see the value with their external goals. Because, yeah, sometimes it feels like we need to be that humble person and that we should just be grateful for what we have already. But damn, if you're like, I just want to lose the last 5 pounds and my brain is resisting this like no other and I feel guilty. And I'm like working on myself and everyone around me is like, you're already healthy. You're already skinny. Man. You don't have to listen to them. You don't have to tune into that. Take care of yourself. You don't have to always worry about what other people think. And maybe you're on the other side of the boat. Maybe it's a little different for you. Either way, if this is calling to you, listen to what your soul is telling you. And if you're ready to start confidently showing up and getting results, like not just getting results, but really like getting to eat your favorite foods and still loving the F out of your body and feeling confident in your skin, book your consult call and I can absolutely help you create a plan of action, plus create a compelling vision that leaves you inspired and ready to go, that actually gets you results. Bum, bum, ba-dum, bum. I love you so much. That's really all I have for you today. Last quick reminder though, before I leave, don't forget to leave a rating and review. Print screen that when you're done submitting it, whether you do that through Spotify, whether you do that through Apple Podcasts. Just print screen it and share it with me on Instagram in my DMs. Let me know that you submitted it so that you could get entered into the drawing that we have going on for the Amazon gift card. And then also the giveaway for a free month coaching with moi, which I know you freaking will love. It's amazing and all of the things. Anyways, that's all I have for you. I love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. If this episode helped you, please share it with a friend. Bye. Mwah.